WRTR Real Talk Radio. Featured guest DJs. Original shows. Music news. The hottest DJs from around the world.
We back, hoes, and welcome to a new week here on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Thanks for coming back. What's going on, Miss Lyric?
Hey, y'all. Nothing much. Psych, I'm lying. I got a lot to say today.
Do you?
Prepare yourself for a rant about my weekend.
I saw pictures. I saw video.
You did?
I did,
yeah.
And I was very happy. I saw you back in your element. It reminded me of, when I used to go outside. And that was nice, That was reminiscent.
Yeah. One of these days we're going to get you back outside.
I swear, I'm going to come outside now that everybody else is inside. I'm going to come outside.
Okay, now.
I don't know. People make better. I don't know. Do people make better decisions in the winter?
I don't know about that.
Either way.
There's some cold hoes out there too, so I don't know about all that.
That being said, absolutely, it's hoes. Plenty of hoes. And they're all in my DMs. But anyways, not going to get into that. I am, however, going to introduce our guest host. We have a guest host this week. We decided to do something a little different. One of our longtime supporters, well, actually not long time, actually new supporter, but has been, just reaching out, having different things to say that were insightful, and I thought it might be fun to bring him onto the show. So without further ado, what it do, Eddie?
Hey, how's it going, family?
How are you?
I am well, blessed, highly favored of the Lord, and very happy to be in y'all house. I promise to respect y'all couch.
I mean, we have a nice studio set up for you. You like everything,
I'm digging it. I mean, look, this is what I do. This just happens to be my house.
We got more herbs in the back,
Look, if I gave you a full panoramic, this is me playing all around the house with my setup for podcasting. Well, I actually didn't do any podcasting this week, but I did a couple of different videos and things. So I just pulled everything together like I learned to do. Use everything you got.
Well, welcome to our humble show, and we appreciate you coming on. It's always good to meet people, always good to talk. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. We're going to start off with you. We're not going to interview you quite yet. We're going to let you get into the groove, kind of get the show started, get everybody's juices flowing, and then we'll hit you with a whole bunch of awkward questions. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Eddie Pierce, born and raised Chicago, Illinois, currently residing in the DFW area. Most notable credits, I guess you would say, would be being the founder and publisher with Rainbow Room Publishing, which is where I publish my own works and works of several other people. Coming up on the 13th year anniversary of that. And over that time, it has expanded into a second arm of the company, RRP Live, which is the YouTube channel / podcasting, trying to get like y'all. And thank you. And more recently been starting to finally, God, I've had the logo since 2014, start the third arm of the business, which is not-for-profit, where the others are for-profit, but Kaleidoscope, which is a digital art magazine. So I've been doing this for a while, and I'm ready to go.
I was wondering if he was going to wear the hat. Wasn't you wondering if he was going to wear the hat?
I was.
Oh, man.
I'm here for it.
Me too. I mean,
howdy.
It's definitely your staple.
But see, look, I'm going to tell y'all, this how good y'all are. Y'all inspired me because I said, I'm going to get a good promo shot either, but not with this jacked up webcam, which is why I normally use my phone. I didn't have time to set my phone up right, and I haven't done it in forever on my phone. But I was like, when I get out for this, I'll get to the good camera. Exactly. I'm going to take this cute logo I see up here. Side by side.
We are not
family.
mad.
I'm on the radio. Listen to me.
Hey.
Yeah,
exactly.
right at your house with us at ours.
Right.
Right here in our nice little ghetto ass studio. Wow.
Yes, indeed.
How you feeling this week, Miss Lyric? What's your mood? I heard it wasn't good.
Not that it wasn't good. It could have always been better, but I'm feeling real feisty this week because I'm in the go in and let have mood. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's getting away with jack shit mood.
He can get one too. Yes.
So anybody can get it.
Drag us.
Period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate, or you gonna wait until later on?
Well, since we're here, since the gangs are here, I might as well go ahead and go into what I'm talking about. So, as
Snatch
you
a
know,
wig. Snatch a wig.
I had a show, well, 2 shows, because I have my own band. Hey, Twisted Addiction, period.
What up?
It's an R&B band. And then I'm also in a go-go band called a Level Up band.
This is true.
Now, Black, who is the founder of a Level Up band, his
shout out to Black.
Has a business. Shout out to Black, of course.
I
His
am
girl
talking.
has her own business called Shop Now VIP. This show has been planned since July.
Okay.
We were supposed to do the show in July. 2 days before the show in July, the owner calls her and says, we can't do the show because there's a problem with the sprinkler system in the club. Okay.
I seem to recall you saying something about a show getting
2
canceled.
days. 2 days in advance. Okay.
Okay.
Fast forward, we get another date. Why is the date so far out? Don't know. But we were given an October date. Well, they was given an October date.
Okay.
I'm not there yet. But we get a call from Black saying, it's messed up around here. Everybody's mad. I get there. And mind you, the event is from 12 to 7. That's the slot she paid for.
Right.
We get in there, and there's hoes setting up for this 8:00 p.m. birthday party, impeding on her time.
Oh.
And we're like, what is going on? Like, where's the fashion show stuff? Like, what's going on? I'm looking around. All I see is birthday party decorations, balloons, and big ass signs that spell names and pictures of niggas I don't know. So I'm like, I'm confused. Like, what's going on here?
Who are these niggas?
The club owner allowed these people to come in during her time slot to set up all their shit, which meant that she was unable to have her space to set up her stuff for her event during the slot that she fucking paid for.
Oh, no, ma'am.
And I'm like, what? So where they do that at? Where they do that at? Where they do that at? Obviously there. Obviously there.
I didn't want to say it.
So, of course, the people that she paid to come do the event, like, she had a whole planner come out. She had a videographer, a photographer, all of that. They came out. Everybody fucking left.
Of course.
And they've all been paid.
There, it's empty. Nobody's in there but the people setting up the decorations because everybody left. You would think that the guy would be like, oh, I'm so sorry. This happened. Let me give you some money back, compensate, this, that, and the third. That didn't happen. You want to know what he tried to say?
He wanted you to play for him? I mean, what is happening?
We can, I could put you on some shows. Don't nobody want no shows. Get that girl her fucking money back. What is you doing? You make it so hard to support Black businesses in the DMV, like for real. Stuff like this, like, no, you don't do that. That's bad business.
Yeah, I agree.
So, because I said I was going to, and I'm a woman of my word, Yancey Ciroc Barry Spencer, the owner of Five Sisters in Laurel, you dead ass wrong.
You're pretty horrible.
You get the award for being dead ass wrong and not handling your business correctly.
You said it. You stank.
I don't care because, first of all, listen, You got to start holding people accountable. Period. Yes. That's what's wrong with people. People just want to just, not saying that she is, but 9 times out of 10, we just take what we can get and then go on about our business because we too scared to speak up about what's right and what's wrong. No. Do better.
That's fair.
You block your blessings when you sit there and have bad business like that. You don't know who this girl could become. She could sell clothes to all the supermodels in the Victoria's Secret joint. You don't know. She could be the next Rihanna. But you sitting here trying to curry stuff. Nah,
no, honestly, that's
not cool. Putting you on blast. Won't do business with you in the future. And that's on period.
Wow.
But other than that, yeah, my performance went well.
Like I said, I saw the videos. I really did. Yeah. I saw the videos. Everything looked lit. You looked vibrant. The band was on point. Everybody looked like they were having a good time.
It was a good time. And I got some great footage that I'm going to put on the website when I get that together. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, DMV owners, I don't care what you are, if you're owner of a club, boutique, whatever, do better, yo. Do better. Especially when it comes to our own people. Do better.
Amen.
Whew. What about you, Eddie P? How's your mood this week?
Woo! Well, you know what? I think I'm here to be a little bit of a ray of sunshine. So I'll bring
it because it ain't coming from me.
But no, it's actually been pretty good. A bit of a whirlwind, but very, very excited. Some all that work I just talked about. You look at the metaphor. I'm a writer, so I do that every now and again. But you look at the metaphor of planting your seeds and tending your fields and waiting and hoping for rain and waiting for a good crop. And so it's kind of really popping up. One of the newest things that I done got into, another hat that I'm starting to wear, is acting. I basically, in the midst of doing my own work, and this kind of even goes to what you were just talking about, Lyric, when you do business right with people, you never know what may happen next. And so I was recruiting people for an event. I was about to do one of the people that I recruited. I was looking at some stuff he posted. He posted 2 casting calls for extras here in Dallas. One of them was 10 minutes away from my house. And so one thing leads to another, and I did one last week and I got one this week. And in both cases, it's like it started as an extra, but it got a little extra in the sense of, oh, we're going to put you right in the middle of the shot in the big round. Oh, you can be here twice where somebody else can't be, so let's switch you up. Oh, now you're finna come in, well, we're gonna give you a speaking role on this piece. So it's dope. And in the middle of that, I look up and me and my boys on the same dysfunctional sleep schedule, I think. And boom, here we are. I got an interview in the middle of the week in less than 24 hours. So it's going pretty good for me. And I'm gonna take that energy and lift y'all up as much as I can, because baby, y'all be caring a lot for these people. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I do realize the fact of, and it's your job too, it's your show. Look, I look at this way, Lyrics in the middle, you're on the other side, and it's funny, I'm in black, but you like the devil on the shoulder, and I'm trying to be the angel on the shoulder. But just the idea that, that's heavy. Y'all take on a lot of heaviness, even for however long you do it, or to whatever degree you do, and it's like, hey, somebody gotta bear y'all up. How y'all supposed to do all of that? So the idea of being in y'all comments and talking goofiness on Facebook and being able to be here today, boom, I'm here for it all day, every day. Love y'all.
That was nice. Now I have to be the devil and say that my week was fucked up. It's like, no, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, this is the confessional. I'm not the priest, but I will listen.
No, I'm kidding. My week wasn't that. It wasn't that bad, honestly. Okay, so my TV has been glued to MSNBC, and it is infuriating to watch these white people just white people. I don't understand it. I don't understand like where the mentality is. I don't understand this whole we're superior. Like, girl, what are you protecting? What's going on? I don't understand how anybody is trying to pass Trump off as somebody being of sound and mind. Like, I get it. Like, I really, truly get it that we really probably wouldn't be able to tell if he had dementia or not based off who he is. But still, that withstanding, it's still just astonishing to watch people dance around something that's playing in all of our faces, and nobody's willing to say the thing. Somebody needs to say the thing. It's just
I don't say the thing. Psychopath, sociopathic narcissist. Let me dust off that minor in psychology, baby. He got all of them qualifications. He does. That's before he gets into the psychology of the people. But If I was able to say that somebody's probably missing a moral core, I think he kind of reminds me of that slight difference between us and the rest of the animal kingdom, in that we have that higher sense of reasoning. Now go with me, girl, and it's funny, but go with me.
Lord.
In my opinion, is operating purely out of animal survival of the fittest instinct, and there is no morality or anything trying to counterbalance that in any way, especially being who he is. He's surrounded by sycophants and yes people. So he doesn't have any what's the word I'm looking for? Motivation.
Intelligence.
Well, no, and here's the thing. He's not stupid. He's not
stupid.
No,
he's pretty dumb.
But he's not the stupidest one I know. But I will say that I don't think he's smart enough for people to be calling him the Antichrist. I mean, he's charismatic and whatnot. And the Antichrist is supposed to be charismatic, but I think he's supposed to be smart. But I'm just saying that no, he like I said, that he just doesn't have everything you're hearing about his history, his growing up. Who has ever told him no? And it be someone of consequence that he had to actually listen.
His wife.
Oh, well, did she count? Because they don't.
Don't touch me.
Love don't live
and the current one is still here. She, like they say, possibly collecting checks for these appearances and whatnot. But they may have said no to some things, but they ain't said no completely. But I done ran all over your rant, brother. I'm sorry.
No, you good. It's fine. It is absolutely fine. Anytime that I'm digging in white people's ass, well, that came out wrong. You know what I mean. Anytime that I'm there, you're invited. So anyways, moving right along to... Yep.
It's
moving right along.
I don't even think of them as black no more. That's the cracker that fell off the cookie sheet in the oven and got burned. They just happen to have the pigmentation, but the blackness, the things I know as blackness, and I'm not saying Republicans. Please understand me. I'm not saying Republicans. Okay, but I am talking about the ones that's in that same psychological group think that you're talking about.
Who you want to be when you grow up, Lyric?
That's a great question. I'm so glad that you asked.
Are you really?
I am. Because I actually have an uplifting one this week.
Thank the Lord.
I want to be like Chicago rapper and activist Golden Child, who has been making a powerful impact in the community through his music and actions. And it's time to give him his flowers. Not only does he do music to inspire positive change, but his unity movement has been working tirelessly to bring people together, squash community conflicts, and promote peace. Through events like the Unity Concert, he has helped foster conversations and create connections that has led to a real healing in Chicago's neighborhoods. And baby!
Yep. I want to be like Zorian Harris when I grow up. He's a senior at Whitehaven High School in Memphis, who has made headlines for his remarkable achievement of receiving over 8 million in scholarship offers from more than 100 colleges and universities. This accomplishment has only made him a standout student, but also marks him as one of the school's $1 million scholars. Now,
I know that's right.
When they say $1 million scholars for a school, who else got 8 million? Who? I feel like because he was black, they was like, yeah, he's one of the. Nah, for you, Zorian Harris, you are that for us. Congratulations, young man. You really,
baby.
that
Love
is
it.
amazing. All right, so you ready for these letters up next?
Are the letters ready for me?
We'll find out. We'll be right back.
This discourse has resurfaced on Twitter where Black gay people are being asked whether we identify by race or sexuality first. So I'm just here to issue you all a reminder that you are not Black first and you are not gay first. You are everything at the same goddamn time. It does not matter what society sees you as. It does not matter if you can hide or conceal your queerness. It does not matter what straight Black people tell you. Baby, you are both Black and queer all at once. The very notion that we have to prioritize which marginalized identity gets recognized first is to spit in the face of intersectionality. It erases the fact that in Black spaces, queerness is a source of contention and subjugation. And in non-Black queer spaces, Blackness is a source of contention and subjugation. Those experiences happen simultaneously and they feed off of each other, often leaving us starving. It is so necessary that we advocate for ourselves and others in ways that are inclusive, intersectional, and complete. Because in the words of my goddamn self, allowing motherfuckers to prioritize which parts of your identity they want to recognize first will always leave some part of you behind.
Maybe not what you should do, but definitely she would if it were lyric.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is your girl, Miss Lyric Bravado, and I'm back with my segment, If It Were Lyric, where I discuss your situationships, friendships, relationships, and everything else in between and give my 2 cents about it. Now, if you guys want to continue to send me your advice question, please send it to my Gmail at lyricbravado@gmail.com, or you can DM me on my social media platforms, which is Facebook, TikTok, Instagram.
OnlyFans.
No, that was Tony's thing.
All things.
Not my thing.
Not her thing.
Maybe Twitter, now called X. But we'll get to that. Anyway.
You know,
Do you
all
have
right.
one for me?
I do. All right. So this one, dear, I guess we can say names now. Okay. Dear Lyric, please help me out. My name is Chen Gao. Chengao. Chen Gao.
Okay.
So hopefully I did not butcher that. Please help me out. My name is Chen Gao. My girlfriend and I have been dating for a year, and the first couple of months was awesome. But then we had lots of fights, and honestly, it made me rethink if she's the one. The idea of breaking up really upsets me, but at the same time, I don't want to waste each other's time dating if we have no real intention of a future. But at the same time, I really do love her. The main doubts are mainly because I am Chinese, atheist, and she is Indian, Muslim, but her religion is really strict, and we are of totally opposite cultures. I hope you can help me with some advice. I also feel that if I delay the breakup, then it will hurt even more. Love, with love, Chen Gao.
Oh, okay. Hey, Chengao. Thanks for writing to me, first and foremost. Now for my advice.
Uh-oh.
Bring it.
It's not going to be harsh this week. It's not. I think that you need to have a conversation with your girlfriend and let her know how you feel, first and foremost. It's very important that you tell her this so she knows what she's going to do. Like if you, I understand that you guys have been fighting and this, that, and the third. Coming from opposite cultures, especially Muslim, and you being atheist can be pretty tricky, especially when it comes to possibly raising children. That's just something to think about, uniting your families, having these family gatherings.
I'd be forgetting kids being the mix.
This is a lot to consider when you're marrying someone. People should tend to marry people who they are equally yoked with. What that means is you have the same values. You have the same, you don't have to have the exact same characteristics as what you feel as though should be how a household is ran, but similar. And anything that is not aligned with that, things can typically go wrong. I find it very commendable that you even said that you're thinking of breaking up with her so you don't waste other people's time, because a lot of the times people get into these relationships and they just become comfortable, and it's the longer and longer it takes for them, the harder it's going to be for them to like get over each other. So I think that you need to tell her how you feel, tell her your concerns, let the cards fall where they may. And if you end up separating, at least, the very least, that you'll be able to become good friends and, you know, stay in contact with each other that way. Because it sounds like you still love her, but you can love someone and not be with them as well. You don't have to have a relationship with someone that you love.
Love you from a distance, bitch.
There you go. It just might not be, you know, the relationship for you. And to me, it sounds like you already have your mind made up. It's too many negatives on your list that, you know, so I wish you the best. And that's that. Let's move on.
All righty. You want me to read the second one, or you going where you want?
Oh, you go ahead. I'm going to save mine for last.
All right.
Yeah.
This one is from someone that chooses to remain anonymous.
Okay,
They
Miss
say, Dear Lyric, I hope this message finds you all well. I've been a loyal listener for quite some time, and I love... Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, today I found myself in a bit of a pickle and could really use your advice. So here's the situation. I recently started dating a woman who is adventurous and open-minded, which I absolutely love. We've had some great chemistry, and things have been heating up between us. However, during a particularly intimate night, she casually mentioned that she's into role-playing and suggested that we explore some fantasies together. I was intrigued, but also a bit hesitant because I've never ventured down that path before. Y'all crack me up with these letters because I feel it building up, and I'm trying not to laugh. A few nights later, she surprised me with the proposition. She wanted to dress up as a character from a popular fantasy series, and she asked if I would be comfortable playing along as her counterpart. I find myself excited by the idea, but also slightly anxious about stepping outside my comfort zone. I want to be supportive and adventurous, but I also don't want to be something that I might regret or feel awkward about it later. So I'm reaching out to you all for advice. If it were you in this situation, what would you do? How do you navigate the balance between trying new things for the sake of your partner while also ensuring that you're comfortable and having fun? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for taking the time to read my letter. I appreciate any insights you can share. Sincerely, a concerned listener wishing to remain anonymous.
Okay, anonymous, do it! Do it! How are you going to find out what you like and what you don't like if you don't try it at least once?
Work, furry.
Come out there. Put that anime outfit on. Get that girl. Do some nasty stuff. And if you don't like it, just say, hey, this is not really for me. You know what I'm saying? You have that option. Or you can compromise. Say, hey, this is not really for me, but for you, you know, we can do this once in a blue moon. I don't mind doing that. Like, jump out there, put that costume on,
right?
Hit her with some kung fu moves and shit. Don't hit her though. Domestic violence around this motherfucker.
Y'all be wilding. I'm just imagining
anime moves and say the sayings and take her down. Yeah, I'm all here for it. Take her down in the costume.
I'm just imagining coming home with like a bag, and it has like a CVS bag, and it's got like condoms and lube in it. And you look at her, she looks at you as you fantasize and lick one another's lips. Somebody goes, Garfield and Odie. She's like, yeah. And then y'all go in the bathroom and do your thing, or the bedroom, or whatever, the litter box, however y'all get down, whatever you into. Work.
Listen, first of all, it's between two consenting adults behind closed doors. Nobody has to know unless you on some freaky shit and you want to tape it or something and watch it back.
No
If that's what
cameras.
you want, hey, I'm not judging. Watch it together, get nasty again, and then delete it.
We like the idea of eating them cats.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Just
my
like
Lord.
try new things. Don't be afraid to try new things in the
Work.
bedroom. But always make sure that it's consented between two adults. That's all that I ask.
Because y'all be nasty, freaky, and possessive, nasty asses. Go ahead.
Doing all that. All right. So my last one, y'all, when I got this, I could not get through it. I was cracking up.
Oh,
But
hell.
I'm going to try to get through it today. All right. The subject line reads bail money. So that tells
Oh,
you need
Help,
some-
Lord.
Okay.
I need something stronger than water.
Please. Lyric. First of all, hey boo, I'm from DC and I be listening to the show and whatever. And I need you to help me figure out if I'm gonna have to beat this nigga's ass or no.
Probably.
Because he playing with me. And I hate that for him. Okay, so my man left for work this morning. He worked metro like shit, getting that money on. And I got up like 30 minutes after. So I was getting my clothes off the floor beside the bed, and I noticed an open and empty condom wrapper. Oh, not he playing Russian roulette with me. Oh, not Bookie, but whose boyfriend claimed he hates condoms. So me being me, I checked his nightstand and I found the box I got him.
Bookie butt.
Same as the wrapper I found. It's a 10-pack, and there's 4 left in it. I got them for him because I just started my birth control, and bitch, I ain't got no time to be nobody's baby mother poo.
Especially not Bookie butts.
Exactly.
We've been together 2 years and have a bomb-ass relationship, and he has never given me a reason to feel like he got another bitch. I was about to send him a picture of it this morning, like, what the fuck is this? But I thought I should ask him in person. Whole time he knows I've been cheated on before in previous relationships and so-called been like working with me through my trust issues.
Sure.
But that after I saw was in plain sight. So yeah, I need bail money or not, because I'm 2 seconds from crashing the fuck out.
First off, I love the way this had to be written by a Gen Zer, because there's a certain type of way that they talk, and that
Like
could
whatever.
not be represented.
I said she actually typed in whatever, like whatever.
Yes,
She
or
said,
whatever.
yes, exactly how I read it is exactly how it's typed.
I love it. I love Gen Z.
Yeah, it took me a whole 10 minutes to stop laughing.
Oh,
Could not get through it.
that is hilarious.
All right.
Y'all crack me up. Boogie butt though? Hold on. Let's stop there. Does that mean he has like a shitty ass? And then, you know.
It's a term of endearment.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought
I
this
didn't know
was
where
the
that
first-
was going.
See, that means different for gays. When you say
Yes.
boogie button
And
is
it wasn't even
gays,
just about. It wasn't just about gay, but yes, because
yeah, we don't endear one. We don't endear one another with bookie butt. Because then that's.
They say dookie butt.
I'm just saying,
close enough.
it's awful. We
Dang
hate
and
it.
damn. Same thing.
It's awful. Pew. Just
Okay, y'all. Let me get to her advice. So, all right. Oh, I see she put a PS. I was with him all weekend, so I don't know what this is about. Okay, so this is what it is. If them joints is missing, shorty, and you know you only use them, somebody used them. I would definitely ask about it. But do not go to jail. Do not, damage his stuff and do all of that stuff. Don't crash out. Like y'all youngins be saying, don't crash out on him. Because it's never that serious. If you feel as though your significant other is cheating, just leave. Leave. I wouldn't even say nothing. Just leave.
Wow.
Mm.
I
Wow.
wouldn't recommend that.
Ooh.
And then if he texts you, send him a picture of that, and they'd be like, "What's this?"
I still want that response in person.
What was it?
Left a note in the hallway.
Oh
By
yeah,
the time you read
it's
it,
something definitely going on, because baby, if you don't use condoms and you bought him some and he say they're uncomfortable for him and he don't like them, and all of a sudden there is only 4 left in a 10-pack, baby, 6 times. 6 times.
Condom
well,
no?
I was going to ask, because did she ever specify, because she said she bought them because she was on birth control, which gave me the impression that they possibly used some of them, possibly, because if they're still sexually active and she's not trying to get pregnant.
Nope. She said he refused to use them because they're uncomfortable. So there still should be 10 in a pack.
See, this is why it's hard when you, like you said, you have to read it multiple times because you're laughing through it. I'm laughing through you telling me I done missed all the beats. But okay.
Yep.
Well,
there's only 4 left. So and one was on the floor and it was empty. Child.
Maybe condom no.
Sound like to me he cheating.
Bookie butt got you.
ING.
Cheating.
Cheated on you.
I don't know who he's cheating with, but let me tell you something. Ain't nobody on God's green earth worth your freedom. Okay?
This is true.
Nobody.
This is true. But definitely close the situation
with
now.
Him
End it.
For 2 years, and 2 years may feel like a long time, but baby, somebody is out there that will love you for 4.
Amen.
6, 8, 10, and will love you correctly the right way without, being disrespecting to you by cheating on you and doing all this other stuff and not being monogamous. Like, no, it's cliche to say there's other fish in the sea, but there literally is. Go find you somebody else. But before you do, let me tell you one thing, because this is what people tend to do when they get out of relationships. They want to jump in the next one real quick. No, let's not do that. We're not doing that today. On no day. We're going to work on ourselves first. So if you end up leaving him, I want you to work on you. I want you to date yourself. Take some time to get to know yourself, so you know what to accept and what not to accept. You'll be able to recognize those red flags, and you won't go into your next relationship unhealed and expecting somebody else to heal that trauma for you. That's not the way it works. So that's my advice to you. I thank you guys continuously for sending me your hilarious and sometimes heartfelt advice questions. Please keep sending them to me at lyricbravado@gmail.com, and I will catch you next week.
Alrighty, up next, we trolling the timeline to find out what's going on in entertainment, because I'm telling you I'm putting a disclaimer out there now. My TV, MSNBC, all week. Don't know what the nigs is nigging, but I did look at a couple of things. Either way, Lyric got my back with it, and I'm sure Eddie got a few things himself. So, up next, trolling the timeline. We'll be right back.
Kamala Harris need to go back in the kitchen, put an apron on, and cook.
So, my fellow black men, I think it's time that we had a conversation, because you know what? I'm sick of y'all. Now, keep in mind, when I say black men, I'm not talking about all black men. So if this don't pertain to you, don't get offended. But if I'm talking to you, yeah, I'm talking to you. So, brothers, I just got to ask a question. Do you like black women? Like, for real, do you like black women? Do you like the feminine, melanated female species from which you cometh from? Do you like them? I know society has failed us time and time again and fed us a big warm bowl of BS. But to go out and have so much energy to disrespect a sister, that's foul. So I hear some of y'all say, well, I don't know too much about her. I don't know her policies. I question her motives and all this kind of stuff. Brother, have you heard of Google? But since your fingers don't work, I'm going to just help you out a little bit and tell you a couple of her policies. First of all, she is proposing a middle-class tax cut, which would include a $5,000 child tax credit. The first time in history a child tax credit has ever been that much. Also, a $6,000 savings to the Affordable Care Act health care premiums. That means when you go to the doctor, well, never mind, y'all don't go to the doctor, but if you did, you would save a lot of money. But what about this one, brothers? You know, a lot of us go to the grocery store. You know, those Captain Crunch cereal that you like, you can't even afford to get the Crunch Berries because cereal is so high. You can't even get the Fruity Pebbles. You got to get the generic Fruity Crisp because the groceries are too high. Well, Vice President Harris is proposing the first time ever a ban on price gouging of food and groceries. I think that helps you out, don't it, brothers? And lastly, brothers, all of us are fathers, or most of us. We have sons, we have daughters who we hope and dream one day will go off to college. But what if that college that they go to sent you a tuition bill in the mail saying that you had to pay this by Friday, and that tuition bill is $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year? Would you be able to just stroke a check and pay for that flat out? Probably not. But thank goodness we have the U.S. Department of Education that helps our students of color fund their education through programs like the Pell Grant, through work study, through even federal student loans that are affordable repayment plans. That's all funded through the U.S. Department of Education. But that orange guy you support, yeah, he wants to do away with the Department of Education. So what happens to the loans? What happens to all these student aid programs? They go to the private banks. Those same private banks that were guilty of predatory lending, those same private banks that refuse to lend money to people of color, those same private banks that caused the housing collapse, you want them in charge of funding your child's education? Bruh. So brothers, I'm just saying all this because I love you, and the way we disrespect black women has got to stop. The way that we disrespect Vice President Harris has got to stop. If you want to vote for the orange dude, that's your business. But just keep in mind, remember the Central Park Five, who are now the exonerated five. This man put out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for their death. This is the same orange guy that wants to give full immunity to police officers. That's the guy you support. So brothers, whoever hurt you, whoever didn't give you enough love, whoever didn't give you the attention that you think you needed, brothers, I'm sorry, but what you need to do is go get healed from that. This toxic male masculinity has got to stop. Go get healed. Go heal yourself.
Time to troll.
Well, all right, we back, niggas.
Yep.
Whoop, whoop.
Right here on WRTR. I don't know what that was. But
I don't either.
It is time to troll the timeline and get into this mess. Here we go. Because it has been a week, and the only thing that I've seen nigga-wise has been, if it ain't been Kamala, it's been BET Awards.
The
Lord.
EBT Award.
EBT. The EBT Awards. Did you watch them? Did anybody watch them?
No.
Listen, so I stopped watching award shows on BET after. Okay, so because we have a pop culture show, it kind of makes me feel awkward sometimes to when I got to go in on black people. And usually when I'm watching BET is when that moment hits. It'd be like, need to say something about that. And I try to make this show as much about uplifting black people as I can. Even though,
Niggas be niggering, so.
I mean, it is what it is. But I did see BET. I saw the headlines more about Kendrick, honestly, and him winning. What is it? 8? Let's see. Kendrick Lamar and Future. Wow, Metro Boomin. They won the 2024 BET Hip Hop Award for Best Collaboration. So as I was reading this, I was thinking about Drake.
Okay.
I was thinking about Drake, and
They not like us. You thought.
I could not stop laughing because I'm like, and he won an award. So you just got through a whole summer where everybody was calling you BBL Drizzy. Everybody talk about how you like kids and pointing at you.
Certified pedophile.
Yes. Like,
That's a
you walk in the convenience store, you just trying to get your hot dog from 7-Eleven. Somebody walk by you, A minor. Like, I mean, like Drake has had a fucked up ass summer. to then double down with this award. Wow. So the headline says last night's 2024 BET Awards was a star-studded celebration of Black excellence in music, film, and sports. Here are some of the biggest winners you can chat about. Let's see. SZA. She snagged the award for Best Female R&B Pop Artist, solidifying her place in the music scene. Usher got an award. The trio with Ty Dolla $ign them, they got an award for Carnival. Nicki Minaj dominated the hip-hop categories, winning Best Female Hip-Hop Artist, which, how? Did you hear her latest? I think we talked about this, didn't we, Lyric?
Who?
Nicki Minaj. I think we talked about her last album her diss track, and I mean, you making that face, but she's striking up awards for this bullshit. She won, let's see, Best Female Hip Hop. She won Best Female Hip Hop Artist and contributing to the video of the year for Barbie World. First off, I'm so sick of hearing about Barbie and her and this pink shit. Girl, grow up.
First of all,
Look,
how many other female hip hop artists have came out with albums this year?
Exactly. Oh,
why is she the only one who's winning all these awards? For what?
Because she the only
Pink
one.
Friday
That...
2 literally just came out like a couple months ago. Why?
Pink Friday.
Oh, that's a very good point, though. Yes, because they looking at the whole last year.
I don't understand that.
Huh. You are right.
That's why I side-eye, because I'm like, okay, yes, she's done what she's done for hip-hop, but she's not the only female rapper, though.
Right.
You gotta start giving flowers to these other girls, and then it's like when she doesn't get them, it's a problem with her and the Barbs.
It is. It really is. And that's what I think it is mostly. It's the Barbs and the bullying and the bullshit that comes with all of that.
Politics, money.
It was never like that in the 90s. We were able to see so many female hip hop artists collab. Everybody was winning rewards respectfully. It wasn't
you
a
had
whole
Little
bunch
Kim
of
and Foxy on the same magazine covers. I mean,
right.
Come on.
I mean, even they had their little beef or whatever.
Right, but I'm saying, right.
Where it was only one person allowed to be in a space, and everybody else was treated like peons. I don't like that.
Me either, but you know what?
It's not like that in the male part of hip hop. Why?
Yes, it is.
And the males run it.
I hate it. I hate it.
I thank God that the Viacom has them, right? Still,
I think so.
Every time I look up or think something wrong about BET, I blame Viacom. It might be a cat out. Every time I was like, "This wasn't just niggas. This conversation is involved." But no, I feel you, and much like what you said, and I'm sorry I jumped all in it. But yeah, I haven't paid no attention to an award show. Man, I'm almost 46 years old, and last time I watched them faithfully, I was in undergrad. That was the late 90s, and I watched a few here and there. After that, it's honestly just kind of like not my thing.
Right.
For a number of reasons. I just, especially now with social media, same with like the Academy Awards and all of that, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna see so much on social media. I ain't gotta watch 2-3 hours of that, and half of it I don't really want to watch, and their commercials. I'm gonna catch the highlights from y'all that's giving y'all money away to Meta.
Some of it gets.
You already know who's gonna win, so
that part,
you already know who they gonna give it to.
It's that for me, but it's also like the whole award show banter shit. I hate that. I hate the fact that, you know, they have them do these weird ass sketches, and it's like this banter back and forth. And I've never been a fan of that. We need to stop having Taraji host everything. Because I mean, I love Taraji. I do. You know I do. I love Taraji, but they need to stop this.
Mix it up a little bit.
Like there's plenty of up and coming talents to where we don't have to do what white America does, or white Hollywood rather does, and just double down on all of these old people over and over and over. Give some of these young people chances to develop and grow and get their name out, get their names out there. Speaking of which, Tyla, she emerged as best new artist. Victoria Monet received the BET her awards for her powerful anthem "On My Mama." Kendrick Lamar, of course, recognized as Best Male Hip Hop Artist, reaffirming his status. So, lots going on at the EBT Awards.
I didn't know what you were saying at first. I heard BET. Yeah. Then I heard EB. I said,
why is she just now getting an award for a song that was released last year?
Because Nikki bullied them. No, I'm kidding. I kid, because I know y'all gonna be mad. Y'all gonna be my DM. Stop it.
You see the fuckery that I'm talking about? "On My Mama" was released in 2023.
Really was. But you know what? They've been sleeping on. They've been sleeping on her for a minute. Listen, Victoria Monet
won an award too, and even though I don't like her, she's not a new artist. So why does she get like Outbreak Artist of the Year or some shit like that? She's been out for like longer than 2 years.
I'm telling you, Sexy Red she's got to be an industry plant. Everything about her is so like, just even her name, Sexy Red. What are we like? What is this, like a crayon and a bustier? Like, what is happening?
We could have been more creative with that one.
Just saying. I mean, I don't understand. It's just like Sexy Red, and then the pussy pink booty hole brown thing, and then she going to schools. I'm not saying that she performed the song at a school, but I remember like last year she was recognized and she performed at a school.
Nah, they said she couldn't go. She couldn't come in. They wouldn't let her in. But whose idea was
it? She had that
Sexy Red for anybody's school if it's not a college.
That's what I was asking. That's exactly what I was asking.
No. That's not age appropriate. Ran my ass up to that school.
This was not a college. Pulled
my kid out of there.
And I mean, I know that the kids are listening to it too, but that don't mean that the school should be,
right. Let's bring the booty hole brown girl. Let's do that. Like, let's get her, the girl with the lipstick line. And you remember that lipstick line? Gonorrhea, sex on my period, discharge.
I thank God I don't tune in sometimes. Wow. I know nothing about them.
But this is what my problem with these award shows. These people aren't new. It's like we see them everywhere for like years. Why are you giving them these bullshit awards? It's like a participation award to me, like in sports. You're a little too late with that shit. Like I feel like some of these girls should have won one of the awards that Nicki got. Let's be clear. Their albums were out previously. They was getting buzz. It was all over the radio. Like, y'all not even playing fair with this shit. So who wants to fucking watch that shit? I don't.
I hear you. I mean, I and I think, and you correct me if you're wrong, but I know, at least for me, I think about it from an artist standpoint on some level too, right? And so it's why I feel like I zone in so much on what is obviously political, what is obviously money, what is anything other than the art, right? Because this is what we actually supposed to be there to celebrate, the art of the artist, not the backing or the deals. And of course, they don't tell us all of that, but the average person on the street somebody knows somebody. But the other piece I would just throw in there real quick is that one, there's already not enough spaces for us as Black artists, right? And we have a larger responsibility, I feel, to represent as many of us to the best of our ability as possible. And so that's all the more reason that there really shouldn't be even when you go back to hosting, the idea of hosting and love Taraji. But the idea of hosting, that should be somebody new every year. That's easy.
I agree. Easy. I feel like it should.
There's too many of us out there. And then when I think about the impact that, because they know it too, the impact that one of those new artists getting that award could do for their career versus somebody who's already set and established, somebody who's probably not showing up.
Right.
It's just like, man, come on. So I guess we got to reinvent BT. Come on, Jesus. Okay.
Speaking of people who aren't getting as much acknowledgement as they would like, Life Jennings got his ass on Instagram and was plenty mad about NPR's Tiny Desk. He says, I'm not sure everybody feels like that. God gave me real music. Last month, Tiny Desk told me I wasn't a big enough celebrity for their show. So shout outs to Unplugged for still believing in me. Now, first of all, I don't have a problem with what he said. But what the fuck is up with Tiny Desk? Because let's be clear. I had to Google some of these artists that you done had on this Tiny Desk. You're not gonna play with Life Jennings like that.
Must be nice.
You know that I listened to that whole album straight through. Nothing but box. You can't play with that man like that.
Wow.
He might not be out there now, but yeah, he did what he came in this industry.
I mean, they pulled out Shaka Khan, who I love dearly, from Chicago. When was the last time Shaka did anything?
Right.
You know? And I don't even remember when that was done. I just happened to see it recently, is what I'm saying. But yeah, once again, that opportunity to spread things around. But then, you know, here you are thinking now the publisher head, the producer head come on, and it's not the decisions I would make, but I can imagine the decision making process. And there's somebody out there who just probably don't see it for him. Period.
You know,
and they might not be, and they might not be a musician, music aficionado. Like I would, unless if you ever saw me somewhere where I was trying to judge musicians or whatever, knowing that I'm not one professionally, I'm gonna have all kinds of disclaimers and smirks running across the screen to let y'all know this is a complete joke. I am not an aficionado, but that person who's picking, I don't know who it is. But your point makes me think, you know, well, how tuned is their ear? How open-minded are they about artists? Do they have any issues with certain artists, certain types of artists? You know, because he might just, honestly, it might not be about him only. He might just fit into this whole other category of maybe too black in some respects, or maybe too whatever.
Baby, if y'all brought Jaheim's bald-headed ass back with his braids hanging on by a thread, I don't see nothing wrong with Life Jennings being able to do a Tiny Desk, because his fans were sounding off in them comments, child.
Wait, what do you mean braids hanging on? What is happening?
You ain't seen what that man looked like?
No, I gotta Google it.
I'll send you some pictures. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Wow. Okay.
You know what? I ain't trying to. Either way, I wasn't trying to make no disclaimers for them or whatever. But it's just, and tell me about this lyric. I mean, one, I believe in speaking truth to power. I'm gonna always tell my truth or display it in some shape, form, or fashion. But I am very big, especially now. He is somebody that's in a whole nother stratosphere, right? Several other stratospheres. But one of my rules, and you may see me post a little thing every so often that talks about like my kind of best business practices. And one of them is not to disparage other artists. And to some degree, I also talk about this idea because I hate this for my people, especially those of us who are still trying to make it, that have our events, that have our shows, and something doesn't go, or somebody doesn't come, or something doesn't pop. And now we're on social media ranting and raving. And yeah, the squeaky oil gets the grease, but we ain't wheels. And I just feel like that doesn't endear me to anybody. After that, I was like, oh, so you just bitched them on because folks didn't support. And at the same time, keep in mind when you're doing that, you are in a sense almost knocking the people who did support, because you're so focused on who didn't support. And you could have spent that time saying, hey mama, thank you for being the only one in the audience. But you know, you want to get on and rant and rave, and then you wonder why nothing pop off. But you know, I have to admit, for him being him is something that I won't say is I think of as allowable, but I will say his career can survive it and may even pop because of it. But somebody that's on my level and some others, I would just say don't take that as an example, in my opinion, of what to do.
But I also think it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So some people will go to the extreme in their statements. He kept it cute. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Oh no, I don't think everybody feels that way, but unfortunately, they don't feel as though I'm a big enough celebrity for their platform." There's nothing wrong with that. That's what they said. That's what they standing on. There's nothing wrong with saying that. However, his fans, honey, are going in, and they're letting it be known that don't play with him. We want to see him. So he might very well get a tiny desk. We'll see.
He needs to just say
tiny things. Big Ticker from the Basement made a big announcement.
I heard.
He has a little one on the way.
I heard.
And an adorable little video where him with his back turned, you see some woman's arms going in between with cute little tiny baby shoes. Aww. And then he turns around and has I'm gonna be a dad shirt on, which is so cute. So congratulations to Big Tigger.
Yeah.
Basement. We need to bring that show back. Like
The Basement.
That was a vibe.
It really was. But speaking of having babies, so there was this wild study from back in 2020 that basically said it drops some knowledge on us about how women who give birth after 40 were more likely to live 100 years. So all these people, you know, because when I initially heard the Big Tigger story, I was thinking, 51, you waited as long as you could there, bro. But then also I was just like, you know what? I am seeing older parents nowadays, and I'm not mad at it, because if you look at the decisions that the younger ones are making, do we really want them raising children? I'm not knocking everything that they do. You know, I'm playing. But I'm saying, like, a lot of the decisions that are made, and even made in some of our own upbringings, could possibly have been different decisions if there was a little bit more seasoning behind that experience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just look at that, and you know, I'm not mad. I'm still, I guess I'm on the fence with older men that have babies with, or older people, not even older men, older people that have babies with the younger, like Marcus, like Michael Jordan's son, and that woman, that grown ass big titty woman. Like, you know, it's shit like that that kind of makes me But as far as raising kids and stuff, I would rather people with some seasoning, some age behind it, maybe a few grays, be out here telling the people. What, you disagree?
First of all, I disagree, because let's be clear. Maturity does not have an age on it.
It doesn't.
Does not.
But what I will say is that you are the exception. You are the exception, and you need to own that.
People that are over 40, over 50, that do not make the right decision.
Amen to that.
Okay? Whether it be financially, parenting, whatever the case may be, age don't have no limit. Then on the flip side, there are responsible 20-somethings, 30-somethings.
You know what? I agree.
I don't think people need to focus on the age in totality. Right. Focus on if you've been raised right, period, and have those characteristics already in you at whatever age you are. That's what I'm looking at, because child, there's deadbeats young and there's deadbeats old. Period.
Marcus and I
that's
got to
male
talk about
or
that
female, and it goes across the board. So we can't say that age shit. No, not
Marcus
no more.
Me and Marcus got to talk about it a little bit earlier, and I was telling him how it reminded me of a story of my dad. So when he had me, he was like 21, but then he had my younger brother, who's 13 years younger than me, and he was like in his 40s. And he was somewhere with my grandmother at my grandmother's house. He's dog tired. He has my little brother. My little brother is climbing all over his head. My dad is like half dead in the chair, and my grandmother's looking over him, cracking up. And he was like, "What's wrong?" And she was like, "You supposed to have him young." because you got to be able to keep up with them, and you got to be able to get on the flow with them. And I still won't say age. That more, in my opinion, speaks to vitality and energy. So much like you said, it's not about the number necessarily, but how equipped you are in the sense of physicality, spirituality, mentality, emotionally. But let's be real. How many of us are planning new babies? How many of us were playing? I wasn't.
Exactly.
Baby. I was playing, baby. I was playing.
And I think that this thing with Tigger, I mean, you know, and especially when I think about that age, and I don't know, like how old is the partner? How old is she?
I think she's younger than him, but she's not. You know, we're in her 20s, social right? Media, people like to hide their significant other for whatever reason that is.
She's older than 20.
I do think she's significantly younger than him. But I know he's in his 50s though. So
well, my point being though is I had to think about it because to Marcus's point, okay, he's 50 and men, yeah, we slow down in some respects, and women, y'all go up the older you get when it comes to certain things sexually or what have you. But childbearing age, and we know that has fallen so far down for a while. So that's part of the reason I'm like, how old is she? Because if she's in her maybe, Lyric, you can probably correct me on this. If she's in her late 20s, then popping out babies probably is just like, girl, you better be careful because you could just catch anything and boom, you got a baby. But in her mid 30s, for a lot of women, it's a lot harder. So that makes me wonder, okay, was this a planned pregnancy? And that makes a difference to me when it comes to how old he is, you know, what they're doing, why they're doing, and even just the fact that, I mean, ideally we all gonna be kind of set in our 50s, and it's like, oh well, at that point I ain't crawling after no baby, I got a nanny.
That's true. And you know what? And what I was saying, I didn't say like, you know, as far as age, like what I'm talking about the experience behind it. And there are certain things there are certain experiences that only your age can give you. Talking personally, I mean, like my sister and I grew up in the same house, were raised by the same two people, but her experience and mine are completely different given that we are 13 years apart.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
There's just a different level of maturity that my parents had with her that they did not with me. That is my point. So when you're talking about children, and yes, Big Tigger being 51 and things, if he had a partner that was around that age or something comparable to it, then it would make a little bit more sense to me why you waited out. But that's that man's business. I ain't got nothing to do with it. But I will talk about segueing from that, speaking of people and children, Marlon Wayans clapped back at Elon Musk for disowning his trans daughter. He says, you heard about this?
No. You tell.
All right. So Marlon Wayans recently called out Elon Musk for the way he's been treating his transgender child, and it's got even more buzzing. Wayans took to stand saying that as a parent, you got to support and love your kids no matter what. Now, for those of you that don't know, Elon has a trans daughter. Has come out about it, and Elon being super MAGA, ultra conservative, they don't want to hear anything LGBTQ or none of that. Get your faggot shit out of here. We don't want it in our white world. Like, that's just how they feel. It is what it is. So let's see. Marlon pointed out that it is super important for parents, especially someone with a huge platform like Elon, to show love and acceptance, especially when it comes to their kids' identities. Marlon's message was all about promoting understanding and respect, urging folks to uplift their children instead of throwing shade. And for those of you that may not know or haven't listened to the podcast before, we've talked about Marlon and how he's been very open about supporting his LGBTQ relatives. So I mean, yeah, I do too, because you don't see it a lot with black men, and I don't want to. Here we go. I'm not shitting on black men or anything of the sort.
Right.
What I'm saying is that when it comes to experiences with the LGBTQIA, it's a lot more, my experience, it's a lot more you that have to be pushed in the direction of acceptance versus those of you that embrace it the way that Marlon has so gracefully.
But you know who I blame? The colonizers. No, the colonizers. No, and here we go. Let's go. History. Boom.
It is. This is oppressed people.
Go back to them African tribes. Go back to them African tribes. All right. Now, they had different practices in different places. In some places, they threw away twins. In some places, they did not deal with albino children. But in most cases, I learned that that was never a thing when it came to them in sexuality and gender. That was never, ever a thing. And those cultures and a lot of Native American cultures, they celebrate those people because they said, oh my God, you carry two spirits in you. They believe that you carried the spirit of the male and the female. And that was an awesome thing. Those people also were kind of like, when we think about our extended families and we have the aunts and uncles that help raise the children and that sort of thing, they were a very integral part of society in a lot of cases. But when good old King James, his crew, and the Bible he corrupted, that's a whole nother conversation, came over in there and started imposing all that stuff on us. And then a piece I forgot about that I learned about today, you had that period where when we were brought over as slaves, where we were continuously bringing slaves over, right? So you still had African influence from the motherland pumping in. So we still retained certain things. But then when the slave trade got cut off and America said, fuck y'all, we still keeping our slaves because we can domesticate and breed them, we lost a lot. We lost a lot of morals, values, and that sort of thing. And I will say that right now, and whoever want to, fact check me, I ain't running for president. That
they don't do that for him either.
Right? Okay. And he don't care if they do. He's still gonna lie. But yes, no, that is something that I really feel came with the imperial nations, much like the idea of the nuclear family. For them, it was always this idea of mother, father, 2.3 kids, whatever. For us, it was always the extended family.
Who has 0.3?
They came in and threw all our shit off. You talk about the idea of interrupted history, interrupted development. I don't think this would have been the problem that it is, even on the African continent. Because, I mean, there, we talking about folks' suspicion of being gay and just disappearing. Okay? But I don't believe it was always that way. It was not always that way.
Certain wasn't. All righty. Well, what else you got, Lyric? Because, like I said, MSNBC has been my TV, and I'm not gonna bore y'all with those deets. So, you got anything else?
I did have one more thing, and then we can go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Love Island star Hannah Smith was arrested for threatening to kill a police officer in a racist rant. Her attorney claims she has no memory of telling the officers it's black women.
I don't recall.
And that she can't wait to kill him or her and their sister. This is her rant, you guys. Bitch, I can't wait to kill you, you dumb ass ugly bitch, because you're fucking fat. And they love us skinny bitches because you're fucking black. And I hate black bitches. So I can't wait to kill you and your sister, you dumbass bitch.
Hey. Drag her.
I recall.
And she writes, hi, everyone.
Fuck her.
I want to just take a moment to address the recent events that took place at the concert I attended in Atlanta. I deeply regret the circumstances that led to my arrest.
Sorry, guys.
On September 30th. I understand the impact and the severity of my actions and words, and I'm deeply sorry. I take responsibility for my actions, and I apologize to all of those who were affected by my behavior.
God, guys, you know,
Officer,
love you,
and
mean
the
it.
community whom I insulted and disrespected.
My God.
And there's more, but we don't have time. So I'm just going to sum this all up and say a big fuck you, bitch.
There it is.
Apology to yourself. We don't accept. You said what you said, so stand on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
There you
And that's
go.
how I feel about that, Miss Hannah.
And that was your PR team anyway, so
Girl,
carry on.
please. That was not heartfelt. There was no sincerity in that. Just like you said, that was nothing but a planned PR. So you can continue.
And probably something somebody told her to do.
Reality shows and whatever have you. Like, girl, no. You said what you said. We gonna make you stand on that shit.
Oh, there you go. And that's it. That's all. I think that we have successfully trolled the timeline this week on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Up next, I am talking to Eddie P. We actually both are. But, you know, I'm bringing back my In Your Biz segment because, you know, I haven't done that for a while. You know, you guys that have been WRTR for a while, y'all know that segment. It's back. Like that bump on your lip. We'll be right back.
Kamala Harris, when you're saying people are going to come and live in your home?
I think so.
That people are going to come live in your home, for example? That people would come and live in your house?
Yeah, because you have all these immigrants.
They're just going to come start living in your house?
I don't know how they do that because they already do it in other states, like in New York.
And then the people have to leave?
No, people still stay there if they want.
So it's their house. Immigrants come and live, and then they all live together after that?
I guess so. I don't know how it works. I'm not sure. She hasn't said anything.
Number one, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump spreading propaganda about immigrants while being married to an immigrant and having in-laws as an immigrant is diabolically insidious. Number two, listening to that video illustrated the example of thinking deeply about shallow shit and then drowning in your own understanding. Number three, I know they trying to take it out the history books, but do you know the people that actually had to deal with foreigners coming and taking their land, taking their homes? Do you know who did with that? Number four, Mark Robinson, the person they referenced and saying you should support them, this man is running for governor of North Carolina and has referred to himself as a black Yahtzee. Number five, I'm finding more and more people that look like me that spewing rhetoric like that. Do not let these folks trick you into being anti-immigrant because as soon as they done with them, they're going to be back on your ass. Number six, a lot of y'all are not researching y'all conspiracy theory. Y'all are conclusion shopping your insane hypothesis, and that's bad. Number seven, y'all remember this little visual right here that showed in Colorado? Remember this because a lot of people getting bamboozled and hoodwinked into buying into this old narrative. And again, if you look like me, don't fall for the okie doke.
Time to get all in your biz with Marcus on WRTR Real Talk Radio at Marcus Smoot on Twitter.
Alrighty, we're live inside another edition of In Your Biz on WRTR Real Talk Radio. It's your boy Marcus at the mic, and this week I get to talk with Eddie P, our guest host today. What it do, sir?
Man, life is doing all the things, and I'm just trying to hang on for the ride. It's been pretty good. Lord knows you brighten my day, if it's okay to put it out there, that, I rolled over this morning. It was about 4 o'clock. I said, oh, Lord, this is not when I'm supposed to be woke. And I was tempted to reach for my phone. I said, I'm not going to do it. I reached for it, and there's Marcus. And
my bad.
This.
I didn't mean to wake you up. See, okay.
No, you didn't wake me up. You didn't wake me up. No. Please know, my phone is on silent. My phone has been on silent for like 15 years. Good. Only when my partner is out of the house and I'm here alone, if he's out of town, is it on vibrate. So nothing wakes me up. It's just that I rolled over, I looked, and the compulsion to look at social media.
Right.
But look what it turned into. Who's mad?
Exactly. So for those of you that don't know, so like I said earlier in the show, Eddie has been a recent supporter of the show, and just all around good guy. He's been promoting things. He's been putting things out there for us, and I've learned a lot about his brand, Rainbow Room Publishing, LLC. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't Reading Rainbow or any of the other ratchet things that y'all be saying. They butcher your business name like they butcher my last name. So I get it.
Ooh, I can imagine.
Yeah, I've been Marcus Slut, Smut, Stomp, all this other stuff. So Stoop. It's been everything but my actual name. So I get it. But that being said, tell us a little bit about Rainbow Room Publishing.
So Rainbow Room Publishing, it is what I call a hybrid of a traditional publishing house and a publishing service. So the first being, think Simon and Schuster, Penguin, those big names. Well, and not to say that only those do that, but the company that would say, "Hey, Marcus, we see you have a book. We want to pay you for it. We want to pay to do everything for you and write those big checks and whatnots." So in my case, that's more of picking that person who that I see, or somehow we just, whatever way it works, that I just say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to do this one for free." And that's not me paying them anything, but at the same time, it's saving them money, because then you look on my other side of what I say, the other half being a publishing service, which is something that I employed for my first 2 books. And it's honestly kind of how I really got to have my own company, because I felt like there was a lot of fluff. There was a lot of stuff I paid for that I did not get, or did not get the full value of. And I was like, there's a way to make this significantly cheaper. And I don't even like that word, cost effective, because you get that the quality won't be there. When I tell you the quality is always there. My stuff looks just like anybody's stuff on the bookshelf when you go into a Borders, if you can even find, well, not a Borders, those have been closed, the Barnes & Noble, shelf.
I remember Borders.
So it's me providing opportunities for, all those aspiring authors, the published, the unpublished. Like I said, doing my best largely in a lot of respects to not necessarily eliminate, but help to navigate the financial obstacles. It's something that I've had to do, obviously, for 13 years, because I ain't sitting up in no mansion right now. So
I feel you.
But I've learned how to keep the overhead very low. So so that's pretty much it.
Excellent. So as a person that is currently writing a book, me, and for little known fact, it's in the works, and now that I put it out there, it's out there, but I don't I guess I don't want the anxiety of people constantly asking me, so how's the book? So I've kind of kept my writing on the low, because it comes in, spurts. But either way, that being said, it kind of brought to me the question that I kind of wanted to ask you as a publisher and your process. Can you walk us through the typical process of publishing a book, from acquisition to distribution? How does it usually work?
So, and this is perfect because it allows me to kind of run the gambit of the services and that sort of thing. So,
see what I did there?
Yes, I know.
I've been doing this a little while.
So ideally the person sees me, the website, whatever, and we'll put it out there now, and I know we'll say it later, but if you find the name Eddie S. Pierce, if you find Rainbow Room Publishing, I'm so bad now you can Google me, baby. You're going to find, I'm going to pop up, and all of them are going to lead you to the website. But you get to the website, and ideally, and that's why I send people when they, have some of these different questions, because I purposely made a contact form that is a short way for people to give me an idea of what their work is without sharing their work. Too many people have done this over the years, where they sending people their manuscripts, and then you look up 10 years later and you want to argue with Eddie Murphy and whoever about how they stole your story and whether that's true or not. It will not happen with Eddie Pierce. It will not happen with Rainbow Room Publishing, because I delete those immediately. But in that contact form, you're telling me, where you are in the process, what you need specifically service-wise, and then that goes to me. And like I tell people, even if I have an hour-long conversation with you, I need that in print, because my hours can be so crazy. I can look up at 3:00 and say I want to work on something, but I can't call you. I can't text you. And I have everything there. It also serves the purpose of you starting to talk about developing your elevator speech. If you can't tell me what the story is about, you can't tell anybody else.
But you know what? Elevator speeches. Oh my God.
Last piece of that, and both y'all can probably appreciate this. You probably do this and don't think about it. I didn't think about this until after I was using the form, that a lot of times when I'm working with people, there's always some initial step that's really, really simple, right? And if the person won't do that, that's probably not somebody I need to work with, because baby, all I asked you to do was type out a couple of words. Now we got to have more in-depth conversations if we are working together. You got to sign contracts. You got to know what you're reading. You, on some level, going to have to do your own marketing of this. And so if it's you can't do that, aren't willing to do that, then that's a good indicator for me, regardless of how much I need the money, and I do need my money. I'm not gonna do all of that. So they send me that. I see it, and I even have it in the website that states, you get a free 30-minute consultation, and we're gonna talk about how that's gonna change from free, because baby, these folks will talk to you for 2 hours about a book and never pull the plug, and doctors and lawyers don't do that. So that's another conversation to be had. But we had that consultation. We get some more in-depth conversation about the work, and let's storytell and go through the thing. So say this person comes and they say, hey, I started something, but I haven't finished, right? So we got two options there. We have a writing coach. This all falls under what I call manuscript development, right? You got to make the manuscript. So you got the writing coach you can work with who will help you write it. You got the ghostwriting folks who will, with some assistance, because you got to bring us something.
Right.
My first client, older gentleman. I love to tell the story, but I'll keep it super short. He had 4 audio recordings. Okay. And now since then, I know how to turn that into dictation without us having to listen and type it out. But I'm just saying that he came to me with that. You can come to me with something, and it better be typewritten. We not deciphering no handwriting. And my handwriting is terrible. I can read it all, but you're not gonna pay me enough to do that. Trust me.
That's fair.
Just know that. And so now we've made the manuscript, right? So we moved into bucket number 2, as I call it, which is publishing and production. So this is, okay, we take the manuscript. Now we're talking about editing the manuscript. We won't go into all the detail, but we know what that means. We all got a general sense of it. Then we look at the layout. So you're typing the book or the manuscript, more than likely on an 8.5 by 11 page document, what would print out to be that size, but your book won't necessarily be that size. Your book will be larger, it can be smaller. Most of mine are 6 by 9. So we have to do interior layout where we take everything, and it's not just, please know I tried it. It is not just shrinking the text. It is so much more than just shrinking the text to turn that into what the interior of your book will look like. Okay.
Right. So you actually give people the opportunity to see and actually visualize like what everything is, how everything is going to lay out. Because I know I've heard stories in the past of where authors have received their books, and then there's just like, this isn't what I got, or, there's always some kind of like publishing, error or something that you hear about from so many different authors. And I'm assuming that's not happening over at Rainbow.
No, and largely because secondhand, I've seen a lot of that. And I don't know, it's just, here's the thing, it's my name. It's my story. I'm going to be involved in that process, especially if I'm paying you.
True.
Okay. I'm going to be involved in that process. And if I'm not hearing something by a certain amount of time, I'm asking, where is something I can see to show me that you're working on this and you're following in the direction that I want? Now, the nature of what I'm doing with the folks is we have to have that communication, and I'm going to take it upon myself to send them stuff back and forth, and the work will stop if I don't see responses, because I'm not going to put all this effort into it and then later on you say that it's wrong and we're not going to fight about the money. So you just do your homework, okay? Kind of deal.
That's what's up. I like that.
Just wrapping it as quickly as I can. So basically the production and publishing, technically publishing, connotation wise, it means 2 things. It means that you've done the book, but it also means circulation of the book. In this case, we're talking about doing the book, which is why I say publishing and production. So then you're looking at your cover. Can be a lengthy process depending on how you do it or what have you, but you just look at book covers, you see how many different ways they can come out, so you can imagine how many different processes there are. Then we have to marry those documents. We have to make sure that wherever we take that to print, that it will print correctly and everything will be in the same shape that it needs to be in. Pages are not longer than the cover. Words are not spilling off the page or spilling down in the middle where the spine meets. Even the idea of having to know how many pages you have before you can make the cover. It's a lot of stuff that I've been talking about throughout this whole process with everybody about, don't think about this yet. Don't think about that yet, because everything is driven by you haven't done the writing. then all this other stuff comes out. It just naturally comes out. So you got those 2 documents. You've identified who you're printing with. I recommend, even though I have some issues with Bezos, but there are a lot of other places that do this. I recommend any place that is print on demand, which means that you can print as little as 1 book for that lovely $4 that they used to sell us back in the day, that if you bought 50 to 100 books, each book was, $4. So I recommend doing something like that. That's typically what I do. It's an awesome way when you think about managing your economy, especially for those of us whose wallets aren't fat. The idea that, quick story, I was so broke one time, releasing, I think it was my 3rd book. I couldn't print a copy for myself to just have, but I had a pre-sale. One of my girls bought it. Nobody knew this was going on. She bought it. I took that $20. I went to Amazon. I said, girl, I need 4. I gave her the one she paid her $20 for, and I have 3 in my inventory that I can sell for 20 a piece. Right. And so we kind of set up all of that. We set up a listing and that sort of thing. So now the book it's made, it's available for print, it's available for sale. That moves you to the 3rd bucket, and I can really seal this one up really quick. That's marketing and promotion. So that's the idea of trying to get on a show like this, trying to get somebody to read and write a review like you worked on for me. It's any number of other things that I'll do, even including the idea of video interviews. I've done that with clients as well. So you ride down through that whole thing, and even when you get, and it's important thing to note, and I tell people this all the time, even when you get to that break between publishing and production and then marketing and promotion, every book that I do, for one thing, I'm throwing my whole heart and soul into it, even if it's not mine and I'm getting paid, because one, it's my name.
Of course.
You get a bad burger from McDonald's, are you going back? No, I'm not. And you're talking about top dollars. We're not talking about combo meals here, okay? So I tell them I'm going to do some minimal promotion just off the bat. I'm going to do an announcement. Congratulations to my new client. I'm going to look up at some point in the year and look and notice, hey, it's your anniversary and I need to be pubbing something anyway to get some clients in. Happy anniversary, Marcus Smoot. On the 5th anniversary of your book being out, and now you're New York bestseller.
So you keep that rapport. So you keep that rapport up with your clients, that even afterwards to see them along their way, and that's important because far too often in today's world do we have, like after people have your money, they then stop caring about you, and it's just like, okay, well, yep, that was fine, great, have a good day. You don't see them anymore. So that is one of the things that I really appreciate about your brand. You also have a podcast. Tell me the name and describe your podcast in 5 words.
Good luck with that one. And I already lost all 5 of those. RRP Live, the initials of the company. So Rainbow Room Publishing Live. And I have to admit, it's not the conventional setup just yet, in a sense where you all are doing it regularly. It's very not regimented, but structured. Okay. It's what you expect when somebody says podcast. We're gonna have talk, we're gonna have segments. But mine. Well, okay, see that. Well, I'm worse. I'm doing it with one wing. How about that? So in my case, it may be I'm going to the African American Museum of History and I'm taking some photos and I'm taking some videos. And like I showed you one time, I'm not always live. I mean, I make people know, honestly, when I need them to know that I'm live and that we're going to do actual interaction. So sometimes it is kind of like that roving reporter. I actually kind of playfully did that once. But it's, developing and getting to that place of being more continuous and being, more in line with your setup, and that sort of thing.
I appreciate that. So we're wrapping up an edition of In Your Biz here on WRTR. Eddie is going to keep up with the rest of the show, correct?
Yes, I am.
Awesome sauce. So, Miss Lyric, you want to do news making nauseous or real talk next? You want to just jump into real talk? I know you got mommying to do. We're running a little long.
It's okay. I'm just listen. I'm cooking dinner, and so if you hear a pop, it's just my Instapot.
If I hear a pop, I'm gonna ask questions. What you cooking?
Doing two things at once. Might have to pop somebody in a minute. Who knows?
All right, then we'll do the second half of the show because somebody asked a question, and I wanted to, I wanted to answer their letter. So we'll be right back.
All right.
They want to talk about the Ukrainians got all of these Nazis. Well, let me tell you something. You can find Nazis anywhere. You can find them right here in the United States. In fact, a bunch of the people that they're calling victims and prisoners of war, also known as convicted felons from January 6th. So here's the point. We have people in this chamber that are actually causing just as much a threat, if not more of a threat, to our own country. We should be talking about holding our very own accountable for the misinformation and disinformation that they are spreading, whether it's coming out of China, whether it's coming out of Russia, or whoever is peddling it. It is a problem because right now what we see is that people are dying and we cannot get the support that we need from the public because they continue to peddle lies. And I'm tired of it because I didn't come to this chamber to play games. I came to this chamber to answer to the people, the American people, and to make sure that we keep the American people safe. And if we don't get something done, as they talk about the border, I do want to be clear. The only reason we haven't gotten funding for the border is because they killed, the House Republicans here, killed the bill that they actually sent us from the Senate side. If they want to do some work, let me tell you something. The Democrats are ready, and it seems like the Senate Republicans are ready too. They just need to get to it and stop peddling Putin's lies.
Take us to work. Take us on the go. Take us wherever you go. WRTR, Real Talk Radio.
Back inside the second half of the show here on WRTR. So, Miss Lyric got a letter from a lady named Jessica Collins. She writes in, she says, I hope this message finds you both well. My name is Jessica Collins, and I'm an avid listener of the WRTR Real Talk Radio podcast. Why? No, I'm playing. I'm kidding. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thanks for
your chemistry and the way you tackle diverse topics, especially around LGBTQIA issues and personal stories, makes every episode enlightening. She says nice things about us, but then she says that she is a college student studying communications. I appreciate how you both merge personal anecdotes with meaningful discussions. Yes, you are in college. I thought it would be fun to ask you some lighthearted questions tailored to your unique personalities.
All right.
So I'm going to answer two of her questions for you. I'm sorry, I'm going to give you the two questions and I'm going to answer two for me.
Okay.
All right, for Lyric. As a mom, what's one lesson that you've learned from your kids that has influenced your perspective on life or your creative work?
Listen before responding.
Love it. Okay. If you could perform a duet with any artist, past or present, who would it be and what song would you choose?
That is not freaking fair. It's
on
many.
There. Sorry.
It's too many. It's way too many. I don't know, because you know what? It used to be Lauryn Hill, but
you'd still be waiting for
because she wouldn't show up to the show.
Just saying, you still be waiting for.
Kidding, but
all a thing.
Back though, but man, I'm gonna have to say Michael Jackson, man, the greatest to ever do it, and I don't know what song I would sing with him. Maybe my favorite is Lady in My Life. I think it is.
Okay.
I think it's called. Probably that. Or Whitney Houston. I really can't pick. That's not a fair question to ask because it's way too many artists who I would collabs with who are no longer with us. So.
All right, and she says, and for you, Marcus, given your advocacy and experience with LGBTQIA issues, what's one piece of advice you would give to someone struggling with their identity? You know what? I'll let you answer that one first, Eddie.
Struggling with their identity.
Because I know what I would say, but I want to see if you. Go ahead.
First thought is, and this is tricky without knowing. Well, okay, let's assume this is college age, like you said, and I can kind of remember college age Eddie. Figure out who you are first. Who that is. Who are you when no one else is watching? Who that is. Then, as you look at that, and I don't know exactly what process to tell anybody else to do. For me, it was very much a spiritual thing of me and God talking and him showing me the beauty, the worth, and everything that I did not see in myself, especially as a Black gay man.
Okay.
But the idea that you need to learn who you are first and ultimately fall in love with self is the goal.
I want to echo that, and I will say unlearn your masks is what I would say to someone struggling. Far too many times do LGBTQ identifying people have to, we have to put on a mask. We grow up where the world tells us that we have to be a certain thing in order to be safe. For a lot of us that aren't embraced. And because of those reasons, a lot of us spend a lot of years, I guess, trying to fit into a mold of where everybody else wants us to, where we're comfortable, where we're safe, where we can comfortably pass and just be ourselves in uncomfortable situations. I would say unlearn that behavior, and it should make you, it should get you at least one more step closer to becoming whoever the hell it is that you're supposed to be. Second question, she said, if you could collaborate on a creative project with any author or filmmaker, who would it be and what would the project entail? TBD, I'm going to say, because as far as that goes, as far as the author stuff, I'm just venturing into this. So I'm trying to figure out who it is that I am before. I mean, I have my inspirations and everything else, of course, but as far as a collab or just, I want to solidify me first.
Amen.
So there you go. She says, thank you both for incredible work and creating such a welcoming space for listeners. I can't wait to hear your responses. You heard them. Warm regards, Jessica Collins of Knoxville, Tennessee.
Thank you, Jessica. That's so sweet.
I appreciate that. That was fun. All right, my files. Up next.
We learned your French. We learned your English, your Spanish, your Dutch, your Portuguese, your German. You learned our nothing. You called us stupid. That's white privilege. And I'm sure it probably hurts for you to hear those two words, kind of like gunshots and explosions from those commissioned to protect you, whisking past your ears. What is white privilege? It is the only 5 decades of legal acknowledgement expected to correct 400 years of white transgression. It is crack versus cocaine. Blacks receiving almost 20% longer sentences for the same exact offenses, or for instance, a black man without a record is less likely to get a job than a white felon. Well, maybe it's because we're lazy and we don't work hard enough. What the fuck? 400 years in the same field literally is an incredible resume builder. It is Katrina answering the government's prayers of eugenics, Dick Cheney going fishing the next day, Condoleezza on a shopping spree, Bush in San Diego. But Kanye is the one you call crazy because it only took the USA 2 days to get aid to Asia, but 5 for FEMA to get to Canal Street and Esplanade. It is the one black kid who beat the shit out of the odds, but only thanks to Sandra Bullock, Michelle Pfeiffer, and the White Shadow, so now we all can make it. It is the only time thousands of white people are cheering for the black kid to win is in a stadium. It is you looking at me crazy if I told you to go back to Europe even though we didn't have a say and your great-grandparents came here voluntarily. It is you all of a sudden having a problem with immigration, this isn't even your nation. How the hell do you discover some shit that wasn't even missing to begin with? You've Columbused our traditions. Had white girls twerking in high definition with multicolored hair and purple nails, but it was ghetto when we did it. Or am I making you uncomfortable? Try a cramped slave ship. Oh wait, slavery is over now. It's just called the prison system, because you're not racist because you don't use the N-word, but y'all use niggas every day. What is white privilege? It is the acceptance of bombs over Baghdad, but not over Boston. It is European history being taught as a major and African as an elective. It is learning about my people only 28 days like I'm not black every fucking second as every white boy who want to fuck my brains out, not because I'm pretty, but because I'm pretty for a black girl. Is people thinking that Africa is one nation. It is the waving of the Confederate flag like you didn't lose the battle and then telling us to get over slavery. It's people saying that black people destroyed neighborhoods but forgetting that white people have destroyed continents. It is every time I bring up my plight, some white man has to tell me that I'm crazy, but is kind enough to praise my English or say that we are all given the same opportunities, even though he has a family history of wealth, and I don't even know my family history at all. It is the justification of police brutality. Like, what did that person do? Well, I'm sure it doesn't hurt as much when the victim doesn't look like you. It's people thinking that affirmative action is an unfair advantage instead of keeping the qualified from being unfairly disadvantaged or throwing out a qualified applicant because their name sounded too African American. It is Newports imported into black communities, but black boys exported for weed. It is big plastic asses that are called fat when we naturally have them. It is an Australian woman whose new classic of rap music. It is everyone who hears this poem dismisses all this truth I just spit as reverse racism. That is white privilege.
Why do you have roaches?
The Why File.
Why do my children hate me?
On WRTR Real Talk Radio.
Why did my vagina burn?
The truth is out there.
Explaining the unexplained. We're answering why questions you want to know by checking your tweets. Okay, I'm just gonna put an end to Twitter. I'm over Twitter, but we're at WRTR Radio. We're at WRTRradio@gmail.com, and we take your Facebook messages over on our Facebook page, WRTR Real Talk Radio. This is the Why Files. Remember, the truth is out there. What you got, Miss Lyric?
My why comes from me.
Oh, hell.
And it's to piggyback what I said off earlier. Why do some of y'all black-owned businesses just can't get y'all act together? Why do y'all treat the people who come in there so terribly? I don't understand that. It'd be us doing it to us. Why is that?
Yeah, not always, but yeah, I get it. And you know what? It sucks because I know at least you and I have been hard on Buy Black. We've done everything, like, just over the years, from the TV show to the radio show. Just, it's always been us helping us. That came off real gay, but you know what I'm saying. Either way,
Did it?
It did. There's an organization here in DC called Us Helping Us. That,
okay.
Yeah. Anyways, but it's discouraging because we do, but I don't know. It's a double-edged sword because on one part of me wants to be like, we pour money into all these white and well-known establishments and don't necessarily give to ourselves, but then you have experiences like the one that you have, and then it's hard to advocate for things. So I don't know.
And let's be clear,
it's tough.
I go to the manager for both.
Oh yeah,
you better.
I'm on my camera.
I don't like bad service, whether it's in a white establishment or a black establishment.
Oh yeah,
that's
I'm on my camera.
So
I wish on some level we could take the black out of black-owned businesses and maybe just leave it more general as small businesses, which a lot of times there's a correlation there, right? The black-owned business being a small business. But I know I totally feel you. It's why I go so hard. Because, and it ain't even just about being black. It's about it's my business. Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna do. But also, we need to stop walking. Yeah, but we need to also stop walking into these situations. Not saying that you did, Lyric, but some people need to stop walking into these situations thinking that you're gonna get the homie hookup too, because that can go. That can go left a lot too.
Let me get a discount.
Because exactly. Oh, well, you know what I'm saying, brother. It's how we both struggling, all that. Stop trying to get the homie hookup.
I learned my lesson this year about giving the homie discount. Never again. My price is my price.
It's my price.
I was taught that your family go elsewhere. Because you're not going into no Gucci store saying, oh, let me get a discount. Let me get these Gucci shades for this amount of dollars. No, you're not doing that. You're going to pay that bread. So,
and that, I mean, that speaks to the idea too, that it's give and take, right? They're going to only treat you as a business if you present as a business. And even when it comes to that piece, we talked about those looking for the homie discount. Let's be fair. There are some of us who got businesses who just kind of feel like, oh, they black, they gonna give me a pass if the quality ain't there too.
Nope.
You know, so we got accountability, you know, in all of that. And
Double-edged sword.
Only thing I ever go in hard on people about is when they want to talk about sometimes about the pricing. And that's when you're talking about a mom and pop versus even somebody that's a franchise McDonald's, you know, owner. They don't have the backing and things like that some other people do have, and therefore their prices would be higher. But that's another thing that I go back to with my own business. If my prices are going to be higher, then these services better be banging.
Yeah, but exactly. Let's be realistic, because there's no reason
you paid for it.
Exactly, but see, let's be realistic. There's no reason that them same sliders that I can get at McDonald's for $5 are $20 for 2 sliders at your overpriced restaurant.
Well, no.
I'm just talking about sliders.
No, I'm just saying take a product, take any product, right? If that product is the main thing that brings the money into the business, but that money also has to pay the people, pay the overhead, pay all these different things.
It does.
I can see the ripple effect.
But I don't need to have the capital.
Huh?
I'm saying I don't need to be the only ripple. I'm not your only customer.
Oh yeah.
So
No. Oh, definitely.
You're not about to make your net sales off of me for the day.
No.
That is absolutely not what's going to happen.
And I mean, you do the same thing any other business would do, right? You here come Marcus, and he's coming in as a client or whatever. I'm giving him a discount so I can make sure I get his business, and he gonna more than likely bring all these more people into me. But every Joe Blow, whatever, ain't finna just come up in here. Oh, all I got is doing a Chris Rock. You know, can you pour it in my hand for a dime and give me one rip? No, no business can stand and run like that. Actually, my family owns a barbecue restaurant. They ain't playing like that. We got bills to pay too.
Absolutely, Wyler.
Because the truth is out there, and give me my coin.
I hear ya. I'm going to just do this one from Erica from North Carolina. She wants to know, why do white people feel a need to hold on to the idea of superiority? What is it that they feel is so superior that needs protecting? Wow. I saw that one. I had to pull that one.
Can I please tap in?
By all means. Go for it. Because
I am of the theory, and it just hit me in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
They know our superiority. They know our greatness. You look at our history, you look at how much effort has gone into oppressing us and pushing us down and telling us who we aren't and making up these lies, making us subservient. Great experience. I just went again to the Museum of African American History or Heritage and Culture. Is too many words, I forget it. But the thing in DC, the big pretty thing with all the black stuff. And you had the slave, the cabin. And I walked in, and my head was here at the door. And I said to myself, my educated self first said, oh, they do talk about how people were stereotypically shorter back in the day because, like, Abraham Lincoln was like hold on. Abraham Lincoln was an abnormality because he was so tall. And I had been into some other historical places. Unfortunately, somebody took me to a freaking plantation, and I saw the tiny beds that
bad friends
were supposed to sleep in. And I couldn't have slept in these beds. But coming back to the cabin, in the cabin, I had the epiphany. Me and God was talking. He was like, baby, listen, our people have always been, even though I'm on the shorter end, our people have always been, let me come down so you can see me. And so I said, man, the man had to bow to enter his own house. Yep. That is by design.
Yeah.
And that is why I think they are so fierce with it, because it's something that the idea of why I won't take or steal something, because I always feel I didn't get it the right way, and I'll always be on my guard to keep it. This idea of superiority that they have is born out of falsehoods. And they are going to put all this effort into keeping it. And I feel that the majority of them know, deep down, they know. Oh, this hair, that's why you want it. This skin, that's why you want it. This fat ass, that's why you want it. This big, we ain't gonna say that. That's why you want it.
What you got, Miss Lear?
Fear.
There you go.
It's fear.
I was getting to it.
They know that if there's ever a time where Black people really unite and come together, we're going to wreck shop on everything.
We will.
Honestly, that's all that needed to happen back in those days. But that's why they did so much. That's why they did so much of hanging us, separating families, causing division,
pulling the okie doke when they came and got us from the continent,
and all of that other stuff that they did to us.
I just know that
fear
is fear of retaliation, and it's their fault
because they really feared us.
I just know that I'm looking at the political climate right now, and I'm looking at, just Trump and his presence and what he represents, empowering so many other people to just wild out. White people, they feel like they're unleashed at this point. And, they feel like they can say, they feel like they can say anything. They feel like they can do anything. And it's just like this letter says, what is it that you feel like you need protecting? What is it that you feel is superior? Because we best you in athletics. We are
all the things.
More intelligent. We are actually able to go out into the sun without burning to a crisp. There are so many different things that us, as just melanated people and who we are, that threaten. When you've literally spent your entire life stealing everything from everywhere, you then are scared of having and taken back. They literally have nothing, everything. And I'm not dragging white people. What I'm saying is that, what is your culture, white people? What is white culture?
I was just about to say that.
Because
even
we can
music, sports, like you said, what have you contributed? Even to things that were made for the US, inventions. What have you contributed?
Niggas be nigging wherever we are. There is always, Black people are always whatever situation and wherever we find ourselves, we automatically gravitate to the other Black people in the room. And we just have a shared bond. We have shared experiences. We have shared looks, vibes, just everything. And it's just all in here. White people, what is your culture? What is it that you're trying to protect, girl? What's going on, white people, girl?
One saving grace, and the thing that makes some of this so entertaining to me, I love some irony, baby. I love me some irony. All this shit is y'all fault. Because you came over to Africa and invented this concept of race. Okay?
We did.
And if we had been left alone, develop on our own, if we were respected as equals, you wouldn't have gone down this track of stealing everything that you claim is yours now and being so desperate to keep it. And when you speak to that fear, it's the fear of the retaliation. Y'all know, I would go Jesus on this. I know the things that I deserve because of the things I've done. Okay? And the idea of all that grace being stripped away, holy shit, I would freak out too. I would be worried as fuck that, oh yeah, you're gonna be mad at me because I hit Marcus on the arm one day. I'm looking for him to hit me back at some point. That's what I think a lot of this is. But y'all kick this shit off.
Try it.
And we finna get it in. You could have left us where we was. Let us do our thing. And that white culture thing, if they hadn't messed up and identified themselves as white, they can still say, I'm Italian. Italians have culture. I'm Spanish. Spanish has culture. French has culture. England, I don't entirely get it. They have culture.
But where did white come from?
All white together, it's like, what is that?
Y'all was shipped here.
What is white?
Y'all came over here and shipped. So where the fuck did white come from?
See, that's where my aliens become.
They're not even from this. Y'all ain't even from here. There was people who was already living here already.
They aliens. They are the lizard people. No, I'm playing.
And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it real quick, if you don't mind. It was a Native American. It was a Native American who looked up and said, "Oh, y'all trying to enslave us? I know these Africans are a bit more durable." He went over to England with them and pitched this to the folks in England. And that's the shit that kicked off, oh, well, let's go get all these black folks instead.
We would have to do a special a special episode just for this
Black History Month.
All right, Miss Erica. Hopefully you got your answer because the truth is out there. And that wraps up for this Why Files. We're always answering why for you at WRTR Radio on Twitter. I guess we're going to skip news to make you nauseous and go right into real talk this week, which is what's killing relationships nowadays. We'll be right back.
Y'all niggas are so embarrassing. Like, beyond embarrassing. I know y'all are not on the fucking internet asking for child support forgiveness. Child support forgiveness. Kamala is proposing to give y'all money to start a business, to fund a business. Y'all are asking to remove the child support that you did not fucking pay. Take care. Like, there is already a stereotype associated with black fathers. And then y'all gonna get y'all asses on the fucking internet talking about, can you forgive child support? Just fucking embarrassing.
You know, I love my people. I wouldn't want to be anything but a black man. If God asked me in the next life what race I want to come back as, I'm picking black every day of the week and twice on Sundays. But I feel like some of us should be slaves again.
Some of us should be slaves again. According to what and based on what? See, some of us have internalized the inferiority of our own people so much, you believe there are particular qualities that make them deemed good for slavery. You know who thought the same way? Massa. Which begs the question, can we be critical of each other without engaging in plantation politics or reifying these tropes about enslavement? He had me in the first half too. I'm talking about, I love being my race too, you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't choose nothing else. But then you said something that was the most anti-black, antithetical thing to everything you just said. That was crazy. And you said it on Vlad TV. Because I think it would be bad if somebody said that you need to be enslaved for what you and Tiffany Haddish did in that skit with their boy. You know what I'm saying? That would be crazy, would it?
Keeping it 100. It's Real Talk. On WRTR Real Talk Radio. We keep it real.
All right, we back. We black. And inside of this week's edition of Real Talk, we are talking this week. What is killing relationships nowadays? I asked this question online and it sparked a whole debate, and it then pivoted over into this whole thing with a Tinder profile. It's a mess. Anyway, asking what you all think, and I guess I'll open it to our current panel before I start reading the answers. What do you think?
Yes.
What do you think, Mr. Eddie P? What we going on?
Oh God, that is so multi-layered, and I'm trying to keep it short. I will say,
what is killing relationships nowadays?
I think on some level, part of the problem is that relationships, while they still exist, the context in which we view them, what they're supposed to be, has changed. How do we go about them? How do we acquire them? Thinking about some of the letters and the responses earlier, I think about the idea that back in the day, and shit, not too long ago for us, you dated till marriage, right? You got to know each other. Is kind of what I'm trying to say before you get into any of these long-term relationships. And I know a lot of reasons why people jump into them really quick and what have you, but I feel that a lot of it starts with it starting off wrong, and it probably being something that didn't necessarily. Especially think about it as a gay man, something that should have been a friendship versus a sexual hookup or even a romantic encounter.
That is true. What you think, Miss Lear?
I would have to say unrealistic expectations, unhealed trauma, terrible communication,
horrible.
Those are my top 3.
Off the internet, Menu Cook says people jumping in them when they aren't ready or qualified. Let's see. Ian Mullins says women carrying 90% of the load, especially when children are involved. I just spent 5 days with my daughter and she's exhausted. They have a 6-year-old and my daughter works full time and does 90% of the domestic chores, planning, scheduling, doing. Then, when she's so exhausted, she gets grumpy. She's told that she needs to calm down. Let's see. Amanda Ford says narcissism, lack of healing from past relationships, which is what you said, Miss Lyric, emotional unavailability, fear of being made a fool of, or love not being reciprocated, lack of patience and understanding with their partner, lack of respect, too many outside influences, and not enough solid internal influences. Dwayne Smith says dishonesty with oneself. Elmer Powell says lack of communication. Lori, Miss Lori Love, she says not being true about your sexual preferences. Ooh. Ooh. And that doesn't mean gay. That just means sexual preferences, you know, all around. Because a lot of y'all are into stuff. Then you be trying to get other people into stuff, dressing up like Odie and Garfield. And
even within the gay community, the guy that's pretending to be straight, to be a top versus a bottom, and all of that business, and y'all get in, and somebody tired of bottoming all the time. Somebody tired of being the top all the time.
With the gays, we could go in on all the ways that goes wrong. But anyways, let's see. William Culinarian, Bella Monet, and someone else said they all said social media as a collective. And I want to know, like, what is going on social media that y'all think that is what is wrong with relationships? That's like saying guns kill people. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Well,
now, whether it's social media or not, whether it's social media gassing it or not, if that person is going to cheat, regardless if Mark Zuckerberg or whoever ever decided, Tom, any of them niggas, if they never decided to open a platform and that nigga was gonna cheat, they gonna cheat. It just is what it is. Stop making this about the thing. Like, it's, well, that's my opinion.
I would just add that, like any tool, social media makes a lot of things easier. Okay. And so that idea of connectivity, think about how many people like, okay, pure platonic example. I fell in love with the two of you and I've never met you all. And it's purely through social media. And I feel like I know you, even though I know I don't know you, right? So imagine that person that's, you know, I look at like relationships where, and this is why I can say that if you're in a home, you need to have a certain amount of space. You need to have enough space to be each other and to be separate in the house, because when things kick off, a lot of times, first thing we want to do is leave the house. Now, in this case, you have, in both cases, opened yourself up to the possibility of doing some things you wouldn't necessarily do. And I hear you on the person that's going to cheat is going to cheat. I don't feel that that's always, and there's never, and always. It's about circumstances and things. And I'm not advocating for anybody doing anything, but I can imagine how easy it is to get fixated on somebody that you think is this perfect idea of a mate that you've only interacted with on social media. And before we had social media, we didn't have that. You had to go outside. You had to, and if you were outside, we didn't have, keep in mind, we didn't have dipping off in the DMs back in the day. The best we could do was maybe a voicemail, and somebody at home might have checked that voicemail. So I'm just saying, all of it makes it easier.
I come from the school of, do you like me? Check yes or no. But
yes. Hey, I was the nerd.
I was texting like shit. I don't know what you girls were doing. I was doing this.
My first crush, I found her number in the phone book. I mean, I'm just saying that it while it does not necessarily cause it, it's definitely it's
definitely a tool.
Yeah, it's a tool, and it's how it's being used. So I would love for them to have elaborated when they say social media.
Well, one person did social media. William Culinarian said social media. People want these instant, just add water and stir ass relationships, just so they can get on here and boast about it in other spaces, only to be a church mouse a few weeks later after changing their relationship status to single. And they'll do this multiple times a year as possible. No, it's true. People do that.
But it's true though.
It is.
Because who are you in the relationship for? You are your social media fans or friends. or
this
family.
is true, but that's not a social media issue. That's a you not working through whatever issues it is that gets you to need this desire to seem like you're somebody that you're not, or to force yourself into a situation that is not ideal for yourself for the enjoyment of others. That's a therapy thing.
But that's part of that. That's
a
part
therapy
of the,
thing.
But well, that is part of that. Part of that too, and you speak to therapy, you speak to psychology, you speak to psyche, and that's part of that thing too with social media. And we tend to forget this shit is by design. Even that algorithm is design and shit, right? It makes us want to fall in love with these ideas and these objects and these people and these filtered pictures and these relationship goals, posts, and things like that. Before we had that. And please understand, I'm not, like I said, I'm not bashing it, but I'm old enough to know and remember the time before we had a 24-hour news cycle, before we had 24-hour social media, where shit is just constantly pumped into us. Mm-hmm. And honestly, even when I turn off social media, and people that know me, they know I would go ghost for like a year and a half. You will not see me on social media, but there's still a TV, there's still a radio, but it's like I said, it's just making a lot of things more accessible to our detriment. And then you have the psychological play on the brain that's taking place when you are so engaged in this thing. We know how addictive it can be. So like I said, I'm not saying that it's the main factor. I'm not saying that, but I do say that it is a contributing factor. Yeah.
Well, in closing, I guess I would just say, like I said, my opinion is I just believe honestly that relationships nowadays, you just have to take the time. And to speak to what William said, it is true that people want instant gratification, and we don't take the time that we possibly should to maybe iron out the details of things before we jump in them. And I know especially for gay people, a lot of us find it hard enough to find other gay people, let alone other gay people that we like and get along with and are compatible with. And a lot of times, I think a lot of us misconstrue friendship for maybe a little bit more because we don't have proximity to anything else. I know just for, some of us. And that can be true across all sexualities, not just gay. Yeah. But anyways.
I got one more.
Eddie, what you got?
Jade responded on my post.
She
said, lack of communication, lack of mutual respect for others' boundaries, need for constant validation or reassurance. And this one, expecting the person to remain the exact same as if growth is not a thing.
Ooh, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Crash and burn. That's done. That is not gonna work.
With that being said, I think we hit most of the things.
Yep. And hopefully we answered that question. And shout outs to Tanara for coming up with that topic. Tanara is the girl on TikTok. Everybody's so creative.
Oh, that's her.
Yeah. So she came up with that particular topic, and I was like, oh, that's a good one. Let me go ahead and use that one. So shout outs to her. She's doing big things. And yeah, shout outs to you also, Eddie P. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We had a blast with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I had a great time. Man, absolutely. Now I don't have to mess with Marcus all day tomorrow, being all in his inbox as I listen to each sentence and talk back.
Listen, half the time when we hang this up, I immediately forget everything that we've said. So I'll be like, what? What did I say? Then, you never know. Might have a little sativa. You don't remember shit. Anyways, no, honestly, what do you want the people to know about you? Where can they reach you? All that good stuff.
Anything, Eddie Pierce. Only thing is you might get my dad, and we look a lot alike. But anything Eddie S. Pierce as far as Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Threads. I never really did Twitter, and I'm actually gonna finally cut that one. And I think that LinkedIn. But if you're looking for the the company name, Rainbow Room Publishing as well, that will pull up some of all those socials. It's actually, like I said, to the point now, you can Google me and one of those is going to pop, and that's how you find me.
Nice.
As far as what I want to lead the people is just find that dream, stop making excuses, remove all of the obstacles in your head, start small, go get it.
There you go.
Love that.
My name is Marcus Smoot.
My name is Miss Lyric Bravado.
And I guess we'll holla at y'all all next week here on WRTR Real Talk Radio. We'll holla.
WRTR Real Talk Radio.
This week's show features work from TikTok creators Chris the Author, The Conscious Lee, HuffPost Politics, Kyla Janae Lacey, and Frankie AAB, using our platform to amplify your voices.